Hello, all my crafty people out there. It's time for our weekly project. If you haven't been here before, my name is Stephanie and I upcycle clothing, generally things I find at my local thrift stores and sometimes estate sales and every once in a while a little eBay. So today, let me see if I can remember. Oh, this was an eBay find, an accidental one. Let me explain. I've been in the mood to do tablecloths. You know, vintage tablecloths and make them into different things like my husband's shirt. And so I found this tablecloth that I really liked the design on. I thought it's great, but I forgot to read the full description. And it was very clear. There was nothing wrong with the listing. It was me. This is vinyl. This is a vinyl tablecloth, a rather large one. And when I got it, I was excited about the print, but then I was like, what the heck am I going to do with vinyl? Well, I have an idea. It rains a lot down here, thankfully, to keep some of the heat down. And I found this McCalls M7477. And one of them has a hood. It's kind of like a cape, but it is sleeved, but it's still like the circle with sleeves, but again, it's got a hood, and I think there might just be enough fabric in here to do this, without a lining, of course. And I think I got some snaps. So, if you want to see how it turns out, by all means, follow along, like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Don't forget to hype, and I will see you at the table. Okay, everybody, these are our basic supplies. We have McCalls M7477. We're going to be doing the cape with the hood. And I have some snaps. I'm not going to do buttons on this. We're going to do snaps. Good old double fold. Sorry, y'all. Got some summer bronchitis going on. Double fold bias tape. And our beautiful vintage vinyl tablecloth, which you cannot iron. You can't. You just, there's not, I couldn't even heat it with the blow dryer because this backing will separate from it. So, yeah, no. And yes, I did test it. But in the center where nothing was going to go. So, I do want to keep this backing. I'm sorry, some people hate that sound. Because I want it to be this thickness. You know, it's not super thick by any means, but I don't want it to droop. I want it to kind of stand out like a raincoat. So I have figured out that I'm going to have to fold this way, kind of with the I don't know, it's not a perfect square. I think it's a rectangle, so I'm folding it on the short side so I can get pieces all down here and all down there. I'm not too worried. I would love to use the centerpiece, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. And it's got some transfer on it from the red cording, or well, actually stitching on the sides. So it's not of real importance that I get that involved with that piece. And it's the most wrinkled piece of all. But again, I'm not going to be able to iron it. So we're just going to have to wing it. And it's going to take a little bit to get this straight enough to put the pieces together. So let me get going on the straightening, pinning, and cutting. And then we will see how it starts. It's not a very complicated pattern. And we will be skipping the lining piece, obviously. I don't need a lining. This is just going to be a raincoat, which, you know, we had a little storm go by this weekend in the Gulf, so it's a good time for a raincoat. All right, obviously I could not pin this. Creating a hole in it would be like creating a hole in leather. And it was better done with weights, which, of course, the only weights I have is these little strange vintage ashtrays. So that's the back piece. And this is the hood. Some of it I could use the straight edge on, but most of it I had to freehand. Not something I've done completely before. In other words, done the whole pattern cut out with a rotary cutter. So that was new for me. And here I am cutting one of the other pieces. Again, I was able to just zip along with that rotary cutter and the my ashtray weights. Maybe I should get more professional with that. Okay, everybody, I have all the pieces cut out, and it's only 5 pieces, counting the hood. I did not cut out the facing for the front because what I plan to do is just put binding all the way around the edges to cover all the raw edges. So I think we're going to try and do it without that. Well, we're going to have to because I used every scrap of this tablecloth to get these pieces out of it. So we'll put 1 and 2s together. That's the front with the sides of the front. And 4 and 3 together. That's the side of the back and the back. And I'll show you what the back's going to look like. It's the only thing that was on the fold. Let me hang it up here. I hang it up over my table so it's not in my way, because I'm too short for it to be in my way. So this is what the back's going to look like. The way the pattern was, I could have centered it, but I didn't have enough of the fabric to fussy cut it in that manner. So I had to use the center of the pattern and just cut the sides. But I kind of like the way it does that. That's fine with me. It's not going to be symmetric. If the pattern had repeated in opposite directions, even on either side, I might have been able to do something with that. But again, it didn't do that. So this is the back. Again, I'm going to be attaching it to the 2 sides of 3. And then the 1 and 2s to go together. So let me go and attach all these. I'm going to sew the standard 5/8 inch seam. Then I'm going to take them to the serger and serge that seam line from inside, obviously. And I'm going to turn the seam. I can't decide if I'm turning it to the front or to the back. I might turn them all towards the side pieces, the 3 and the 2. And then I'm going to top stitch them down just to give them a nice finished look. I am going to be using contrasting thread. I'm going to use a bright red thread because I'm also going to be using a bright red binding for the edges. So we're going to make this fun and funky. And the hubby picked out some matte black snaps that will go with this really well and still pop out. So let me get to sewing. Again, 3 and 4 together, 1 and 2. Then we put them all together and 2 and 3 get sewn together. Okay, here I am sewing one of the panels together, or 2 of the panels together, out of the 4, 3, I think 3, 4. Anyway, and then after I did that, I serged them, and I did trim off a little bit in the serge process. And then that gave me the ability to fold it over, the seam over, towards one side and just do a top stitch. It makes it look a lot neater, and it also just lays better. So that's why I did it. Okay, now I'm going to put the hood together. All we're going to do, these are right sides together, and I'm just going to sew around the edge. I'm leaving the bottom open so I can attach it. And I'll be putting some type that binding on the front because we're not lining this like the original pattern says. So again, all the way up and over to the front of the hood. And we're going to do the same thing, 5/8 inch seam. Then I'm going to serge it and I'm going to push it over to one side. I like to open it, but I'm not sure. We'll see what I do. I think I might push it over to one side like it's supposed to be. Okay, here I am sewing the hood. Again, this is just the outer seam that I'm sewing. I'm leaving the front and the bottom open. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach the binding to the front before I start attaching it to the actual cape. I think that'll be easier. All right, now I have put the binding around the hood after I sewed it together, and I did the top stitching where I pushed the seam over to one side. And now we're going to put it on the cape itself, or the raincoat or cape, whatever. It's more like a cape. So this is the back of the cape, and I am pinning or clipping this right sides together around the collar. And I'm going to go sew this down, and then once I sew this down, we're going to bind every single raw edge, including including the neckline. I was going to do the binding around everything else before I did the hood, but what I thought about is, I think when I'm binding the neckline, I'm also going to just miter it here at the corner and go down both sides and go around the hem. So let's say that's the plan. my logic may be off. We're going to see. But I'm just using my quilt clips to put this on, and I may have to put a couple of snips in it when I'm sewing it together. On the shoulder part, at least. Right here is where it kind of gets a little tight. And then, like I said, we'll bind it, and all I'll have left to do is put snaps on. Can't find all my binder clips. Binder clips. I never say that right. Quilt clips. Okay, this is only a very small portion of the process. I put binding all the way around. I started at the back of the neck and bound the seam, and then I just went all the way around and ended at the back of the neck again. I also mitered all of the corners, which would have been 4 corners, to make it look a little neater. All right, I've got everything put together. Our hood's up here. All of our binding is around all the raw edges and the seam around the neck. And I've just clipped the front here together. You can see the red line of the other side. And I think I'm folding this properly. I think we're left over right and men are right over left, if I'm not mistaken. I'll fix it if I'm mistaken. I'm just getting an idea of where I want to put these snaps. And again, I've just picked these black mats, or Charles has. And I think I can get 5 of them down here. Because they're not very big. But as we all know, it's what I had on hand. So that's the telltale factor, isn't it? Yeah, I might put one like close, and then I'll figure out the spacing in a minute. I just gotta take a measurement of it, sort of divide it up. But I think 5 would be more than enough. They're not, like I said, large, and you could do something larger, though. You could do something real decorative if you wanted to. Wouldn't matter. But let me get these put into place, size them up, and space them out properly, and then we'll give it a try. Okay, I've got the spacing right, and I used this little tool that was included in the package. It's a punch. I used the hammer to punch the holes, and I punched them at the same time. So I put the little block under them. I punched them through all the way to the other side. So they're punched on both sides. That's your first thing. Then you got to find all 4 of your pieces, which this is my snap top that goes on the outside, and this is the snap bottom to that piece. So I'm going to move this over. I'll find my hole over here. There we go. And I'm going to push the tall piece from the front, and then I'm going to put this piece, this side, I don't know if y'all can see that, this side down. And then I'm going to find my block that I've obviously misplaced again. There we go. I'll put it under here. I'm going to put the flat side down, or flat side up, I should say. I'll put it on that flat piece. And this is a punch that goes in the middle of this. And what this is doing is it's spreading out the little prongs in there, or little pieces that secure it. This is going to get loud. I'll mute it. If it's not tight enough, or if it's loose, just give it a few more whacks. Just make sure that those little things in there in the middle are spread out. All right. That's tight. There we go. It's not as tight as that one. I'll give it a little more. Give it a couple more whacks. There we go. All right, so there's the front. Now we're going to turn the little base over where it's got these little ridges. And we're going to bring in our 2 smaller pieces. Again, the long post piece that goes up through. As soon as I can find the hole. There it is. This is a little close. I think that's it. No, that's not the hole. There it is. Whew. This pattern. And then this is the little nubby piece that goes on top that's actually going to go in the snap. So you put that on top of that ridge, and that ridge, if you center it, will hold it in place. There's another tool. This one is open at the bottom, like a little cavern. So it will hold on to your snap piece, and you're just going to drive it like that, and voila, we have 2 snaps. Oops, take that out, that helps it. Oops, tight. There we go. All right, now we're going to do the other 3 and try it on. Well, everybody, what you think? Got me a new raincoat. I think it turned out super cute. The hood was huge. I did put a little dart in the back of that to pull it up so it wouldn't fall over my face. But I do want it to be able to come over my face because the rain come in from all kinds of directions down here. So it's a little stiffer than maybe the traditional coat, but I tell you what, you're going to stay dry. Snaps worked out great. And we'll just dip down our hood here and head out. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. It's another way to use one of these old vinyl tablecloths. And honestly, this one was in excellent shape. The backing was still attached and everything. If you got a lighter one, it might work too. This would also make great totes, grocery totes. There's not anything that you can't do with it as far as something that you want to be kind of water resistant. So if you had a good time, by all means, like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Don't forget to hype, and I will catch you on the flip side of our next project.